So what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. This is Zuma, aka Fabian. For those that don't know me, I'm a transgender. I am about 4 weeks on testosterone now, and I post weekly videos about changes that I've experienced during that week. Tomorrow will be my 4th week on testosterone, so I'll be posting a video on everything that I've experienced that whole month, the pros and the cons, and a whole bunch of stuff that I've noticed in this whole month. So if you guys want to know more about that, please don't forget to subscribe below. Also, like this video, please. If you like it, then please go ahead and like it, so I know that this has been helpful for some of you guys, because all my videos are for educational purposes only. I want to help out, those people that are curious to see, what changes they're going to come across when they start transitioning, or people that have family members or relatives, friends, whatever the case may be, that are going through the same thing. That way you could kind of maybe understand a little bit of their point of view if you're interested. I'm pretty sure that's why you're checking out the video, right? But yeah, like my video, so if that way I know that this has been helpful, guys. Also, click on that bell, guys. That way you guys can get notified as soon as I post my videos, and you guys can come and check it out. But yeah, so today is actually mainly about those people that are considering transitioning, right? So, if you want to know if going on with the process is for you or not, then I will do my very best to be as detailed as I can on what I went through and what made my decision, what led me to my decision onto transitioning. And I want to help out, hopefully, those people that I know there have been some individuals that, after transitioning from female to male or from male to female, some of them are detransitioning because they feel they made the wrong decision. Their dysphoria didn't go away, and they're not as happy as they thought they would be. So basically, I'm making this video because I want to hopefully be able to help some people that are in doubt. That way you don't make this mistake and later try to transition, and it's going to be a very challenging road for you. So I'm going to try to do my best to give you some information that I think might be helpful for everybody. Okay? So remember, there's no going back. And if you do go back, it's really never the same. So yeah, this video will be pretty long. So just bear with me, guys. I'm gonna be as detailed as I can. Okay. So first, to understand what transitioning means, we should first understand what transgender means. And transgender has nothing to do with your preference. Transgender simply means that you're not happy with your biological body. Okay? It means that deep down inside, your soul, your spirit, your mind, everything inside you does not match at all with the physical and biological body that you have. So you have this dysphoria about your body because you don't feel inside how you look outside. And that becomes a lifetime struggle for some of us. That's what transgender means. transgender has nothing to do with your sexual preference. So if you are a female, but you like to dress like a boy, for example, let's say me, for example, if I'm a female biologically, I dress like a man, but let's say I like men. I know to some of us that might be a little bit weird, but like I've said before, it's preferences. That's, who are we to judge? Okay. So I have a dysphoria with my body because in my mind I should have had been born a man. So even though I like men, in my mind I see myself as a man as well inside, even though physically I am not, and that's why I have this dysphoria. Because I know biologically I am a female. If I didn't think I was a female, if I think I'm not and I'm a male, then I wouldn't have this dysphoria. But I know that physically, biologically, I am not a female. I'm sorry, I am not a male. I am a female. But inside, I consider myself a male. However, I do like male. And a confusion could be there. However, there's two separate things. The dysphoria is the fact, and transgender means that I have the dysphoria between myself and my body. My sexual preference is completely different. So I decided to transition. Now I transition from female to male. However, yes, biologically I was born a female. It's gonna stay, but physically, to everybody's eyes, I will look masculine. I feel more like a man. I'm gonna have testosterone in me. So my body would change literally to a male's body. With the exception of downstairs, of course. Or if you're male, same thing, with the exception of downstairs. So once I've transitioned and now I'm 100% changed, my feminine figures has gone away, or vice versa, your male figures. Let's just talk about me. I'm just using myself as an example right now. My female curves and everything went away. I grew a beard now, right? I'm a male physically. Maybe not biologically, but physically, I'm a male, right? But I'm still dating dudes. So now I'm considered a gay male. In my mind, my dysphoria is with my body, not with my preference. So that's what transgender means. So don't get confused with oh, why do you dress like a dude, but you're dating a dude, and now you want to change to be a male, but you still like dudes. So why don't you stay a woman? Like, no, don't worry about any of that. That's just preferences. The dysphoria is with your body physically. Now, I myself, I love women. I'm not attracted to men, but I just use myself as an example. Alright, guys. But yeah. So now that we hopefully understand what transgender means, remember, transgender means that we have a dysphoria with our physical body, not a preference, not a sexual preference, not a lifestyle. No, just simply with our physical body. Okay. That's what transgender means, and I am a transgender. Now, transitioning into female to male is a completely different story. Excuse me. Remember, biologically we're female. That's not going to change, but physically it can. Okay, so for those that say to be a male you have to be born a male, I agree. No one's arguing that. Biologically, I know what I am. But just like the dudes that have small pecs, right? Small wieners, go get phalloplasty or whatever they do, and they get, they could get a bigger bigger wiener and they're happy, and that's very good for you, right? There's women that are born with small chest, small breast, and they want bigger boobs, and they go and they get it. Now they weren't born with big boobs. Some dudes are not born with big penises, right? And you might be dysphoric about that. So you go make a change to feel more comfortable about yourself. So that's your change. This is my change. Okay. So we're not arguing about genetically or biologically. Okay, just physically. Okay. Um. So if so, we've covered that. I wrote it down, guys, because it's quite a lot, and as you could tell already, I'm kind of already starting to forget. Let me see if I have my pen. I think I lost my. Oh, Lord. Found it. Alright. So, yeah, I kind of want to just make sure I cover really good points that I had in my head earlier. Now, like I said earlier, that transgender is a dysphoria with your body. So that means that's something that you could see since birth. Maybe not since birth, but since you're born, since you start creating your personality, since you start walking, since you start knowing what you like without deciding, just simply being attracted to cars or dolls or being with boys and playing in the mud or playing with Barbies or I don't know, since you start figuring yourself out and what and what you like without knowing what's right or wrong, that's when dysphoria starts. Without well, it's not really a dysphoria just yet, but that's we start showing signs since we're very little, since we even know what gay, transgender, or lesbian is. Okay. And obviously the dysphoria begins once you start hitting puberty, once you start recognizing stuff in your body, once you start knowing that you're growing boobs, that you're starting to get curves, and then you're noticing that obviously you don't have something, you know that you don't got a wiener, or vice versa, you don't got a vagina in case you're a male, right? So when you start growing, you start realizing this stuff, and you start wondering why. I didn't know what sex was when I was little. I mean, sex as in identifying the person, right? I just knew I liked this, and that. But once you start growing, you start they start telling you this is a boy, this is a girl. And you start learning this, then you start having a dysphoria of why am I mentally like that boy over there? But why am I physically like that girl over there? And then it just began. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is that before you decide to make a decision, a lifetime change decision, think about this kind of stuff from when you were little. And think about from the very last time you can remember, or the very first time, I'm sorry, you can remember that you started hating your body. Because that's what transgender is. Remember, it has nothing to do with your emotions or how you feel about yourself or your preferences of your lifestyle or your sexual preferences, right? It's just about physically your body. A lot of the times that some people want to do transition is because some say that they didn't know they were gonna turn gay. So for example, I guess me, I don't like male. I love females, right? I have my fiance and I love her to death. So I can't wait. We're gonna get married pretty soon, so I'm excited for that. But let's say I'm on the process of my transition already, right? And I out of nowhere start liking males, right? That's not possible. To some individual, however, it has happened. But remember that it has nothing to do with your preference. And some of the people that I've known are certain individuals that low key inside they've had that curiosity before to be with a man or to be with a male in case you were a man, I guess. Or never really thought about it but kind of had the little thing right there. So when you're on testosterone or hormones, it kind of tends to wake things up. So if you're someone that had that before, it could be a possibility that you might start being curious about this kind of things. Personally, that has not happened to me, but I consider myself a very well defined person into what I like. So don't be afraid if that happened to you though. Remember that you're just figuring yourself out too. You know what I mean? But those are things that could happen when you start transitioning. So it's very important that you try to figure yourself out exactly first before you move on with this process, so you don't get caught off guard in case your sexual preferences starts to shift a little bit. Not that it will happen, but it has happened to certain individuals. Um, Also, don't, if you're trying to transition because you're being tired of being bullied, being picked on, people don't take you serious, and you think that that's gonna go away, you think that once you transition and you start looking more like a male, and then you start worrying about passing more as a male, and that way there people are not gonna question you or see you weird because they're not gonna look at, oh look, there goes the lesbian, right? Because if you think that they're gonna look at you now, they're gonna be like, oh, there goes the young man, and that's it. Don't do it for those reasons. Don't, because you're just gonna, again, you're not doing it for your physical body, you're doing it for emotional reasons or things like that, right? Keep in mind that people are always gonna find a flaw in you, even if it's not a flaw for yourself. It might be a flaw for other people, and they're gonna talk about it. So it's a good idea to try to be as strong-minded as you can with your own personal opinions, not about others, right? Because even when you transition, you're gonna struggle as well. Why are you gonna struggle about, do I go to the men's restroom or do I go to the female restrooms, right? I'm not there yet. I still go to the female restrooms. I still have some feminine features, I guess you could say. So I still don't completely pass as a male, and I'm completely okay with it. I'm just thankful I'm already on that journey, and I will be there soon, right? But right now, biologically, I go to the female restrooms. But I've seen people struggle deciding whether they're gonna be accepted going into the male restrooms or the female restrooms. Why? Because this is what we think. I probably will think the same, but I think this is what will be going through anybody's head. If I already transitioned 100%, I have my beard already, right? I mean, I sound exactly legit like a male, right? So if I want to walk into the restroom, the female restroom, because biologically I'm a female, I haven't had bottom surgery or anything, so I mean, biologically I was born a female regardless, so I'm gonna go to the female restroom. But people act basically on how you look first before anything else. So you're gonna, there goes a male going to the girls' restroom. What if I get kicked out? Right? People won't understand when you tell them, oh, I'm a transgender. Then I'll be like, no, I don't care what you are, you look like a dude, get out of here, right? And then you might think like, well, I look like a dude, then I'll go take a piss in the guys' restroom. So you go and they see that you're taking a piss, but I mean they see that you go inside the stall, right, and you sitting down, and obviously you're not taking, I mean you're not going number two, you're going number one, right? And then you start having those insecurities of, man, what if they wonder why is this dude taking a piss while he's squatting and da da da. Although I think people don't really give a damn. I mean, you just go take a piss and you're out of there. I mean, but there are some people that maybe you don't haven't passed 100%, so males might be able to identify that probably, and they'll tell you, I don't care how you feel that you think you are, but biologically you're a female, so get out of here. Go to the girls' restroom, right? So there's this issue that could rise up when you're already transitioning or have transitioned. So keep that in mind. So if you're trying to run away from problems like that, problems are always gonna happen. So the most important thing is that you're doing this change for yourself, for your physical body, and you should be as strong as you can to also understand people's uncomfortness on not understanding your lifestyle, right? Don't let that get you depressed or affect you in any kind of way. I did that for a very long time, and I'm 30 years old now, and here I am starting to transition. Thank God I'm still young enough to start, but technically I'm halfway in my life, right? So there's people out there that they don't start transitioning until after they're probably 40, 50, 60 years old. And they wish they could have done this when they were younger, but they thought so much about what people were going to think, right? So if you think that things are going to change, they're not. So if you're going to transition, don't do it because of that, please. Because you might not be happy with the results. Okay? Um, Also, we should we should understand that not everybody's gonna understand, and not everybody's gonna agree with our decision. And again, that should have nothing to do with making your own decision. Because like I've said before, and I'll say this a couple more times during this video, that dysphoria and transgender has only to do with your physical body. And your mom and your dad and your sister and your aunt and your cousin and your best friend and your boyfriend and your girlfriend might not understand it, and that's completely normal. It's not for them to understand, it's for you to be okay with yourself. If they're not happy with your change, ask yourself, are you happy with your change? If you're gonna feel happy for being happy because other people are not happy, then what's the whole purpose of being an adult and making your own decisions? It's about living, and it's not really about surviving. You don't want to just survive on this earth. You want to live it. I mean, you only live once. You have this life. Who knows what happens after you die? You know what I mean? Like, you can't base your happiness based on other people's points of views on your happiness. They won't come and ask us questions about what makes them happy and ask us if they should do this or not. Well, they know better. That's like I'll tell people, you know what makes you happy, and do what fills your heart with balance or whatever you feel. So yes, now that you will, maybe some of you will not. You'll have all the support that you need, and that's extremely okay. Like, that's perfect for you. But it's not really the problem. It's a problem. It becomes a problem. You don't have that support. So keep in mind that we shouldn't have to need a support from someone for us to make a decision and for us to feel happy with ourselves, because we're our biggest critics. We're our biggest bullies. It's ourselves with ourselves. You know what I mean? So in reality, if that's stopping you, then being transgender is nothing wrong. Transitioning is nothing wrong with that. But it's also not for everybody. Because some of us are not doing it with the right intention. Some of us think that this will make us happy. And no, you already know what makes you happy. Just don't be afraid to do it. So think about when you started hating your body, not when you started hating your life. Hating your life might have had just been a symptom of why you're hating your body. But also, it could be that hating your body could be the symptom of why you hate your life. So we want to identify exactly what it is first. Because keep in mind that it really might be a phase. Because we might be hating our body. So we don't really know ourselves and we have not fully identified ourselves. So we should be sure before making this decision. You know, maybe you've suffered something traumatic in our lives. We all do. But we don't know if one of those things might have had triggered onto hating our physical body and ourselves, and why we don't want to be no longer be this sex and we want to be a different sex now, because we think if we become a different sex, we'll become a better person, right? So we want to figure all of this stuff out before making this decision. Also, sometimes even when you think that transitioning is the right choice for you, we've made ourselves 100% sure, right? I will let you know this. I'm extremely happy with the changes that I'm experiencing. Extremely happy. Like that's another video. I'll post that tomorrow about everything. But there are pros and cons. But I'm focusing on my pros and not my cons, right? But one of the pros for me might be a con. It might be something depressing for some of you guys. And I think that's when people start realizing that they want to do transition. And that's when your old self is fading away. When you start seeing your female figure fading away. My name is Zoma. My male name, once I've transitioned physically, not biologically, I'll be reassured that I know biologically I am a female, but physically I am transitioning into a physical male. Okay? Not biologically, so no one's arguing about that. But my male name will be Fabian. And and one of those things that I'm experiencing right now is that Zuma is fading away. My feminine features, even the shape of my face is starting to not 100%, obviously. I'm only a month. I still have a long way to go. I'm going through puberty right now, but there's so many changes that I'm starting to experience that I think to some people, like me, thinking about it right now, like, man, Zuma is fading away. So that's when some individuals could be like, man, let's say I'm someone that maybe wasn't sure, right, that this was the right thing for me. I could be like, man, Zuma's fading away. I think I'm losing a part of me that I'm never gonna get back. And I'm not realizing how much I actually will miss my body until now that it's going away. When you start really seeing yourself that you're becoming a man, physically, biologically, physically, you start realizing like you're not gonna get away with a lot of stuff you used to get away with when you were a girl. That people are not gonna be as sensitive either with you. And you start losing this part of yourself that you lived with for so long, and you start missing it, and then you start thinking about like, what am I doing? Those things will happen. It would be either the best thing that's gonna be happening to you, or when you realize that it's the worst thing that's happening to you. For me, it's the best thing. But I had to figure out myself first before I decided to go on this transition. So please, please, please spend some time with yourself. No music. Nobody else. Spend time with yourself. Meditate. Do something with yourself. It's okay to communicate with yourself in your own mind. Let your monkey mind go crazy and let it express itself. Because your opinion matters on your own life. You don't want to have that feeling to where you regret what you did. It's a life change. When you're on testosterone, you are on or hormones, you have to be on that thing for the rest of your life, because biologically you're not a male or you're not a female in case you're a male, right? So we don't naturally produce hormones or testosterone inside of us. Testosterone in my case. So transitioning from female to male, physically, not biologically, you have to be on testosterone, excuse me, for the rest of your life. Keep this in mind. For the rest of your life, my friends. Okay? Whether it's by gel that you're gonna apply every single day for the rest of your life, or whether it's by shot that you apply every week or every 2 weeks or 4 times a year for the rest of your life. Okay? If you do not see yourself doing that for the rest of your life, then consider whether this might be the right choice for you or not. If that is worth it or not for you, right? The moment you stop taking it, you're gonna start detransitioning because your hormones or your testosterone level are gonna start dropping. So your body's slowly gonna start shifting a little bit to how you were. However, unfortunately, you will never be able to go back to who you once used to be. So for me, Zuma is starting to fade away. Fabian, I'm growing into Fabian, but I will never be Zuma the same way, ever again. If I ever stop taking testosterone, if I ever want to transition back, maybe my voice will never come back to being the same. My Maybe my facial hair that I grew will not fade off. Maybe that will stay. Maybe my jawline might change back to more of a female, right? But not my voice. Maybe my shoulders. Maybe I don't get as strong anymore. Maybe my shoulders start trying to shift back a little bit. I start getting, my love handles again. Like, my body starts distributing again. But maybe my broad shoulders don't go away. I don't know. There are things that change. There are things that don't change ever. And that will also be another dysphoria. And that'll be very, 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 I think, very, very tough journey, because now it'll be hard to identify who you are, because testosterone or hormones is not something to mess with. It's literally for people who are really not happy with themselves physically. So please don't confuse your emotions, your traumas, your depression, the bullying you're going through. Don't confuse any of that with what you feel between you and your body. Because your physical body will plays a huge, huge part in your life. That's what we have as warriors.